Hi guys, and welcome to my part 1 video on the debate as to whether if I had to choose one exercise out of the conventional deadlift and the Romanian deadlift, I would choose the Romanian deadlift, and the reasons are as follows. So the first thing that I marked out was that you can't use as heavy a load. So that is one disadvantage of the Romanian deadlift. But when it comes to building muscle and you getting muscle hypertrophy, although it does help to have those higher motor unit thresholds stimulated from heavy loads like you'd get in the conventional deadlift, you can still work up to and around the 70% mark of your conventional deadlift 1 rep max. And so that means you can get more volume, you can have more time under tension, which is my second point, which is going to allow for a greater degree of lactate, localized musculature, lactate accumulation, which is a great stimulus for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. I'll just quickly write that. Sarcoplasmic. It's a big fancy word that means that all the fluid in the muscle cell is going to expand, and that fluid is basically made up of water, sugar, mitochondria, and all the other sort of like metabolites and organelles that are responsible for producing energy in the muscles that are responsible for producing the action. And thirdly, it's range of motion at the hip and the shoulder. So here we've got conventional, where you have a bigger acute angle at the hip and a smaller acute angle at the shoulder, which means it's a smaller range of motion for the glutes and hamstrings to do their job, and the adductors to extend the hip here, and it's a smaller range of motion for the lats and the triceps to keep the arms closer to the body here. And so that's how we lift much bigger weights, by not having to do as much work around the joint torques that we're using to lift these big weights. And then for the Romanian deadlift, where you typically lean over more and sit further back into the hips, and this is where a lot of confusion can come in, because it's quite very much like a stiff leg deadlift, in that a stiff leg is this principle, except this tends to happen a lot more with a Romanian deadlift, in that a Romanian deadlift gets close to the floor, or if not, maybe lightly brushes it, which is the way I prefer to train it myself, but that's just based on my own mechanics and my own needs. So basically, range of motion, Romanian deadlift wins massively, because we take a much greater range here for the glutes and hamstrings, and we take a much greater range here for the lats and triceps to keep the arm close to the center of gravity. And so, because we've got much bigger ranges of motion with moderate loads and high volumes and lots of lactate accumulation potential, we've got loads of myofibrillar as well. So myofibrillar muscle breakdown, and this is hypertrophy as well. So these are two major ways that the muscle hypertrophies and gets bigger, and the Romanian deadlift is going to give us our best bang for our buck for those options. So I did my best to try and keep that short for you guys. There is a longer video that I've kind of got planned, may or may not post it. I'm going to see how detailed I'm going to get into this thing, because I've just done a pre-run of it that I might post. I've still got lots of editing to do, and yeah, there's lots to it. But that's my answer to which one would I choose if I was short on time, or if I just wanted to keep my program really simple. It's always going to be the Romanian deadlift. Bigger ranges of motion, moderate loads, easier to recover because it's lighter, and I can get in a really good workout and get lots of work done when I'm doing it.